Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Sally Pinto and I'm from the Yonkers Newark neighborhood naturally occurring retirement community. We launched back in January of 2020 and we're here to serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We have lots of fun programs and activities, and we also have a lot of resources for you as well. Our programs include meditation chair yoga, body mind fitness, bingo, and any other programs that you might be interested, like arts and gardening. We have our resource specialist, Alexa Smith, who can help you with finding services and activities out there for you, as well as our nurse, Barbara Simone, who can help answer your health-related questions. We're here for you, we're here for our community, and we look forward to seeing you in our programs. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alexa Smith, the resource specialist with the Yonkers Newark. I'm here to help with application assistance, referrals for home delivered meals, and transportation services will be coming soon. We also offer Zoom activities and Zoom programs. And if you have any other questions or concerns, I'm here to help. Thank you so much and enjoy the program.
Welcome. I'm Barbara Simone, registered nurse. I recently retired from Westchester County's Health Department as a public health nurse. I am now here to try to assist you with any medical or preventive care issues. Enjoy this program, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, we're not going to use any specific props today, but if you like to have a blanket for a little extra padding, or if you get cold, if you got the air conditioner blasting, whatever you need there to support, and I'll offer modifications and different things along the ways to find your comfortable practice. So we'll start on our back today. And if you are going to practice with us today from a chair, you can just sit comfortably in the chair. Maybe the feet are flat on the floor if you're in the chair. And if you're starting on your back, just bend your knees so the feet are on the floor and the knees are pointing straight up to the sky. And you can move around a little bit when you first arrive, kind of shake out any tension or anything that you might be holding onto as you just begin to settle the body onto the floor. I like to wrap my knees from side to side. You can allow the arms to come by your side. Perhaps even the knees start to knock towards each other. Just taking any kind of action out of this beginning space. You can start to close your eyes or just soften through the gaze. Just start to check in with your body today. Beginning to notice your breath. Just noticing the parts of your body that are connected with the floor. Perhaps inviting a gentle body scan, beginning at the crown of your head, working all the way to the tips of your toes. And just as you move through the body, just starting to soften a little bit. Observe any places of tension or tightness. Maybe pausing that attention on those places that need a little extra attention this morning. Inviting the breath to deepen just a little bit. Taking each inhale and each exhale really intentionally. Keeping the arms heavy on the floor, just start to lift them up a little bit higher. So maybe they're coming to shoulder height, just still letting the backs of the arms rest on the ground. But just inviting a little bit more space between the arm and the side of the body. You can always bend the elbows a little bit. Invite 2 more full rounds of breath here. Deep, full inhales and deep, full exhales. After your second breath, just start to gently rock your knees from side to side. And think like your knees are rocking like windshield wipers, but it's just a drizzle. It's not a downpour, so they're not moving too quickly. As your knees start to fall towards the right, pause. Allow them to get a little heavy on the right side. Still allowing your body to be pretty passive here. So just allowing gravity to do the work. Continue to focus on the breath. After your next full breath, allow the knees to come back up to the sky. Find that gentle windshield wiper again from side to side. Nice and slow. And then they'll start to find the left side and pausing there. Perhaps observing if the sides feel a little different. One more full breath here. And allow the knees to come back up to the sky. You can windshield wiper, it's a nice way to rinse it out. Then start to bring the soles of the feet together. Allow the knees to drop wide. So think butterfly legs. It doesn't matter how much your knees drop open. Maybe you rock the hips a little bit from side to side. You can start to bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Feeling the belly expand as you inhale. And release as you exhale. Relaxing the muscles of the face. Releasing through the jaw. Just one more breath here. Let's start to point the knees back up to the sky. Feet on the floor. Maybe do a couple of tilts of the pelvis, just lengthening through the spine again. And then nice and gently start to bring your knees in towards your chest. When you arrive there, you can rock a little bit from side to side, feel a little massage on the lower back. Then begin to roll to one side. And you'll just press your foot all the way up, coming into a seated position. So you can sit up on a blanket if you need a little extra height. You can keep the legs crossed. If that's not comfortable for you, you can always have the legs out in front of you. You don't have to stay in a cross position. Just really start to feel the sit bones connect to either the mat or the blanket or the pillow if you're sitting up on something. And bring your hands to the tops of the knees. You can close your eyes or keep them open and just start to invite some gentle shoulder rolls. So you're just kind of shrugging the shoulders up and all the way back. Just creating a little bit more space in the shoulder joint. And then you'll begin to roll the other way. Still noticing that strong, powerful breath. And allow your fingertips to come towards the floor. Really lengthen through the crown of the head as if you're being pulled up through a string. And start to reach the arms all the way up to the sky. And then release the arms all the way down. So use your inhale to lift the arms all the way up. And use your exhale to press the air all the way down. Let's take one more. Reach the arms all the way up. Keep the arms up. And then twist to the right. So bring your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind you like a kickstand. So still focusing on that lengthening through the crown of the head. Nice, strong, tall spine. And start to bring your gaze over the right shoulder. Using your breath to grow tall. And then keep your left hand on your knee, but reach the right arm all the way up to the sky. So lifting that kickstand arm all the way up to the sky as if you're trying to grow the right side of your body taller. And then lean over towards the left. So really focusing on lengthening through the right side of your body. You can keep the gaze forward or bring the gaze towards the left leg, the left knee. Just changing the position of the neck. And start to lift yourself all the way back up. Release the right hand down and come all the way back to the middle. Perhaps rolling the shoulders a little bit. Any kind of movement you need to rinse that out. And we'll find the other side. So reach the arms all the way up. To the left. So bring your right hand to your left knee or towards your left knee. It doesn't matter if it finds it. And your left hand behind your back, and think that that left hand is trying to be as close to the body as you can. So really a tight kickstand. Maybe the gaze comes over the left shoulder. Start to reach the left arm up. Yeah, really reach and lengthen through the left side. And then maybe lean over to the right a little bit. Your sides are gonna feel a little different. If you'd like to change the gaze, you can bring your gaze towards the right knee. And slowly start to come all the way up and untwist. So bring your hands behind you and just bring your legs out in front of you, especially if they were crossed, and kind of just shake them out. You can rock them a little bit. And then come back into a cross position. So maybe you're switching which leg was in front. So I like to call it the awkward cross. It's not the habitual way we go. Or again, you can always keep your legs straight out in front of you. And reach the arms all the way up to the sky. But this time I want you to reach your arms forward. So if you're on your chair, you're gonna come towards a folded position while really keeping the sit bones rooted on the floor or the chair. And release your head and your neck. So just walking your hands as far forward as they'll go without lifting the sit bones up. Don't forget about your breath. It's the most important part as long as you're breathing. And just gently walk your hands over to the right. So just adding a little bit of a lateral stretch here. Doesn't matter how far they go. And then just walk your hands over to the left. So just a few breaths in that lateral motion. And walk your hands back to the middle and all the way in. And we'll start to find our way into a tabletop position. So if you like a little extra padding under the knees, you can slide a blanket or even a pillow underneath your knees. Or if you don't have one nearby, you can always roll up the sides of your mat and just adding a bit of a double layer. So just as you start to come onto your hands and your knees, again, just kind of checking in as we continue to change the perspective on our mat. And maybe just start to rock a little bit. So make some nice hip circles. So we're moving the hips, but we're rolling through the wrists as well, getting a little motion there. And then go the other way. Always bringing yourself back to your breath. And when you feel pretty even in that space from side to side, just begin to flex and extend the spine in cat-to-cat-cow. So drop the belly, look forward. And then begin to round the spine. Feel like you're trying to pull the shoulder blades apart. So there's no right or wrong speed to move through this. Really just connecting with your body this morning. Adding in whatever else you need as we move and taking out whatever's not working for you today. Let's take a couple more breaths if you're moving through that cat-cow or any other movement that you're making. And then start to come into a nice neutral tabletop position. So neutral is just wherever your spine feels most comfortable. And drop onto your forearms. So again, if you like a little extra padding under the elbows or the arms, you can always roll up the sides of the mat. If you're in a chair, you're just still sitting tall, but we're all going to extend the right leg. So if you're on your forearms, you'll just extend the right leg back. If you're on a chair, you're going to extend the right leg forward so the heel is on the floor. And keep the toes curled under and just press back through the heel. So focusing on the back of the leg. So you want to feel as if the toes are trying to pull up towards the shin. And you can rock in and out of it if that dynamic movement feels good, or you can just hold and stretch. And then nothing too fancy, we'll just switch sides. So bring the right knee in and extend the left leg out. And you'll find the same thing. You can find that dynamic movement or press and hold. Bring both knees back to the floor. Come back up onto your palms. Curl your toes under and come into a downward dog. So if you're not feeling like an inversion today, because you are in an inversion in a down dog, because your heart is above your head, you can always stay in a tabletop position. And I just want you to continue focusing on lengthening through the sides of the body and really finding a nice, strong, powerful holds through the hands. When you arrive in your down dog, you can do whatever you want here. If you want to rock the hips, pedal out the feet. Kind of just continuing to check in constantly with the body and where it's at today. Just begin to walk your hands and your feet towards each other. So finding a forward fold towards the middle of your mat. If you had stayed in a tabletop, come into a halfway lift. I want you to keep the spine parallel so you're not coming into that inversion space. So wherever you're at, just really focusing on the feet for a moment. Feel the feet press into the floor. If you're in that fold all of the way, letting the upper body be nice and heavy. And start to bring your hands to your shins or the tops of the knees and the thighs, and really lengthen the crown of your head forward. So lifting through the back ribs. And always keep a little bend into your knees. It gives you a nice added support. Keeping the back nice and flat, press into the feet and come all the way up to stand. Let's see, you can stay standing at the middle of your mat. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Grow nice and tall, so keep focusing on lengthening and lifting. Take a little lean over to the right. Come back to the middle and take a lean over to the left. You can always have your arms in cactus if it's too much with the arms straight up overhead, or even just keeping the arms by your side if you've got any stuff in the shoulders today. Come back to the middle and bring your hands to your heart center. And close your eyes. Feeling the feet root into the floor as you continuously grow taller and longer through the spine. And just take one more breath here. So just walk a little forward on your mat. You can keep your hands at your heart center, bring your hands to your hips. Find a little bend into your knees. And step your left foot back on the mat. And nice and controlled, start to drop the knee to the floor. So you can always hold on to support, nice controlled slow movement. Coming into a low lunge. So when I first get here, especially after I just woke up, I like to kind of rock in and out of it a few times. I'm starting to find a little bit more space in my hip flexors. And bring your arms wherever is comfortable. When I find a space that feels okay to stay in today, where I feel a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of work, a little bit to my edge, I'll pause. Really pressing the foot and the back shin down into the floor. Just one more breath. Don't forget that extra padding on the back leg. And bring your hands to the floor. Come back to a tabletop position. And this time find a child's pose. So sink your hips towards your heels. You can do whatever you want with the arms. You can always just sit on your heels or sit on your booty. Checking back in with your breath. Then start to come back to your downward facing dog. So again, you can always stay in your tabletop position. Whatever movement or stillness that you desire. Start to come into that forward fold at the middle of the mat, knowing that you can always take it into more of an active hold and lift, as opposed to that more inversion dangly piece. Finding a nice flat back, feel as if you're being lifted from the back of your ribs. Pressing into your feet and come all the way up to stand. Bringing your hands to your heart center. So we'll do the same thing, but just stepping the right leg back this time. So find a little bend into your knees and step the right foot back. And then nice and slow, start to lower it to the floor. It's okay if you're a little weebly wobbly on the way there. You can rock a little bit in and out. Finding a place where you can pause for a couple of breaths. Start to come towards your child's pose. So you can bring your knee back, sink your hips towards your heels. Again, any place where you want to pause is perfect. It doesn't have to be a child's pose. Doesn't matter what you did the last time either. And after your next full round of breath, so full round is a full inhale and full exhale. You'll find your way back to a downward dog. And then we'll come to stand. So however you want to get into a standing position is the perfect way to go. Head always gets cut off when I stand up. So just finding a comfortable standing position. So your feet are about hip width apart. And notice the space in front of you. So is there something in front of you that you can focus on to help with your balance? We're going to come into a little bit of balancing here. So you'll start to shift the weight into your left foot and just come onto the ball of your right foot. So we're just nice and slow going to start to shift into a balance. You can do whatever you want with the arms. But as you lift the heel of the right foot, I want you to lighten up on the toes and maybe start to lift the foot up off the floor. So it's just hovering. Of course, if you need extra support and a balance, you can use the wall, or if you've got, I got a bookshelf right here, you can hold on to that. And only taking this as far as you can go today. So even if you're just keeping the toes on the ground and lifting the heel, you're still working on the balancing muscles on the left leg, and that's what I care about. If you want to deepen this, I'm just going to turn so you can see me. If you want to deepen this, you can start to turn the right knee out to the side. So think tree pose. And at first, I don't want you to put the foot on the floor. I'm sorry, the foot on the leg. And then allow the foot to find the leg. So it can be anywhere on the leg, it doesn't matter. And it can even be, if your toes are still on the floor, just turn the knee out and bring the foot to your ankle. Hugging the left leg and the right foot towards your midline, wherever that is. And it's okay if you fall out of the balance and you need to find yourself back in. It's okay to be a little shaky. Notice your breath. Find that focal point in front of you to keep your attention steady. Just take one more breath. We'll rewind the same way we came into it. So just gently release the foot, turn the knee back forward, and bring the foot onto the floor. And resist the urge to shake it off right away. I know it's really easy. I always want to do that too. Maybe close your eyes and just observe the difference from side to side. If after a couple of breaths you still feel the urge to shake it out or rock the hips, go for it. So we'll start to find it on the other side. So again, find a nice stance with the feet. Your sides are totally different, so forget what just happened. And just slowly start to shift the weight into your right foot and lift the left heel. So just nice and slow, shifting the balance. Lighten up on the left toes. These are all just options. Stay where you want to stay. Maybe the left foot is now dangling. To add on, you can start to turn the knee out to the side, as if you're going to bring the foot on the inside of the leg, but don't bring it on there yet. Breaking a little bit of muscle memory here. And then the final option is to bring the foot onto the leg somewhere. So maybe that's the toes on the ground at the ankle, maybe it's at your shin, maybe it's at your inner thigh. Really feeling your right foot root onto the floor. If you feel like your ankle is kind of working in and out constantly, it's just your brain telling your muscles that you're balancing. Continuing to grow tall. Use your breath, keep that focus. One more. And rewinding it. So gently lift the foot up off the leg. Turn the knee forward and place the foot on the floor. Again, resist the urge to shake it off. Just kind of be with those sensations for a few moments. And then if you want to shake it off, shake it off. And start to find the middle of your mat and then turn to the long edge of your mat. So you're standing in the middle, but you're facing the long edge. And take your feet wide. So wide enough that you feel like the legs have to work to hold you here, but not so wide that you feel like you're gonna fall into a split. So it's somewhere in the middle. Bring our arms up into a T, shoulder height, and really reach and expand through the fingertips. Turn your right toes forward. And bend into your right knee. So maybe you're leaning into it and then coming out. Again, finding this slow movement into the pose. Coming into warrior two. Using the breath, perhaps the gaze comes over the right hand. It can always stay to the side though. Straighten the front leg, reach the right arm forward and down. So maybe it comes onto the thigh, Maybe it comes onto the shin as you reach the left arm up to the sky, coming into your triangle pose. Focus on spiraling the heart open. Focus on lengthening both sides of the body. So I don't care how low you drop. I want you to focus on that length. Come all the way back up to the middle. Turn all 10 toes to the side. Bring your hands to your heart. So maybe even just noticing that when your eyes are open, how your body feels. And then what happens when you close your eyes here? Both feet are on the ground. They're nice and strongly rooted, even though they're a little wide. Let's observe if there's any difference in the proprioception. Maybe there's a little bit more rocking when your eyes are closed. Your body trying to find gravity. If your eyes are closed, you can open them up, bring your arms out into a T. We'll do the other side. We'll just turn the left toes towards the back side of your mat. And just slowly start to bend into your left leg, warrior two. If you were rocking a little bit into it, see if you can hold the bend for just a couple of breaths. Straighten your front leg. Reach the left arm forward and down, and just finding the left leg somewhere. And the right arm up to the sky, triangle pose. Come all the way back up, turn all 10 toes to the side of the mat, and then walk your feet all the way together. So again, trying to resist the urge to shake it off. Observe and notice. Come back to your breath. And then just find your way to sit. I'm not going to take you there any fancy way. So just however you want to sit down. And you'll take your legs into a straddle. So think of the position we just had standing, but now you're seated and the legs are just wide. Doesn't matter how wide they are, I'm not going to measure. Sit up nice and tall. You can point and flex the feet. Notice if one feels like a little bit tighter, and maybe hold that for a couple of breaths. When I point my feet, I really feel the tops on my foot and my shins start to stretch. And then just relax the feet again. You can be sitting up on a blanket or a pillow, whatever support you need. And just gently start to tilt the pelvis and the upper body forward. Just coming into a wide-legged fold here. One more breath. And start to lift yourself up. So we'll begin to find our way into a pigeon pose. So I'm going to give you 3 options for your pigeon this morning. So if you want to be towards your belly, you'll bring one shin forward. And we're going to start on the right leg. So the right knee will be to the right and the left foot will be to the left. And you can recline forward. So you can find pigeon this way. Option 1. Go with your gut instinct. Option 2 is on your back. And you'll find that figure 4. Again, we're going to start with the right leg. So you'll cross the right ankle on top of the left knee. Now you can keep the foot on the floor, the left foot on the floor, or to deepen it, you can hug the left knee into the chest. That's option 2. If you're in a chair, you're going to do that same figure 4 cross. So you'll cross your right ankle on top of your left knee, and maybe you're just sitting up tall, or maybe you're starting to hinge forward over that leg. Don't think too hard. Go with your gut instinct if you want to be towards your belly, on your back, or in a chair. It doesn't matter if you haven't been in a chair, but that might just be what's working for you today. Adding whatever extra support you need. So if you're towards your belly, you might want a pillow or a blanket underneath your right hip, or even under your torso. Find a place where you can breathe. Allow your inhales and exhales continuing to deepen and lengthen and holding you in the space. I want you to find 5 more full rounds of breath wherever you're at. Beautiful. After that 5th breath, I want you to think that you're moving in slow motion, slowly starting to pull yourself up of wherever you were at. So if you were on towards your belly, pressing your arms up. If you were on your back, just gently releasing and uncrossing the legs. Inviting whatever your body needs to rinse it out. So maybe if you were towards your belly, that's laying on your belly. Maybe it's a down dog or a tabletop. When you feel ready I want you to find your pigeon, whatever version you're taking on the other side. No rush. Whatever you need to get into it, remembering that the sides are different. So try to take the same variation of it if you can, if it's working for your body this morning. And if it's not, just find something else. Continuing to focus on the breath. Taking about 3 more full rounds of breath in whatever version you're in. Slowly, again, like you're moving in slow motion, start to pull yourself out. Whatever you need to rinse out, whatever movement you need. And you'll start to find your way all the way onto your back if you're not already there. Bringing whatever support that you want as we start to settle into our final Shavasana. So if you want a pillow under your knees or a blanket over you, you can always be on your side if laying on your back is just not sitting with your body today. Yeah. And as you begin to settle in, maybe kind of wiggling and shaking it off and finding any little movements to add a little bit more release and softness into the pose. Inviting a final scan, a final check-in of the body this morning here. No judgment, just noticing. Allowing the intention of the breath to go. Just letting everything resume back to steady. Starting to bring some awareness back into the space. Starting to bring some awareness back into the body. Inviting small movements back in. Wheeling your fingers and your toes. Rolling out wrists and ankles. And rocking your head from side to side. In your own way, in your own time, start to bring yourself up into a comfortable seat. There's no rush to get there. I'm just continuing to move in slow motion. When you do come into that seat, just gently bring your hands to your heart center and bow your head. And just taking a moment of gratitude for your practice today. Thanking yourself for making it to your mat, for your practice, for your energy, for your breath, and most importantly, for yourself. Namaste.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis and Barbara from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Westchester County Legislator Ruth Walter, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.